Jessica Boyer with your SCV NewsBreak for Tuesday, August 4th. 87 years ago, the St. Francis Dam disaster killed over 400 people. Today, Steve Knight announced the bill, which could make it a national memorial to commemorate the victims.
This was the largest man-made disaster in the 20th century, and this is something that shouldn't have happened. We did learn a lot from it, and our future dams were built correctly, and so that you can take some good out of it, but this shouldn't have happened. This is something that, and we can never forget. We can never forget the 450 lives that were lost. We can never forget what happened during that time. We can never forget that this was a short period of time ago. This was only 87 years ago. Now, I know that that's a lifetime for all of us, but when you're remembering a disaster that took so many lives and affected such an area, then that's not that long a time.
In addition to the memorial, Knight presented the Castaic Wilderness Act, which aims to protect 69,000 acres of land.
We are hoping to establish a national memorial run by the National Park Service with surrounding areas to be under the jurisdiction of the Angeles National Forest. This would include the historic Native American habitation sites of the Tataviam, Chumash, and Katanamak tribes, along with cupules, burial grounds, petroglyphs, and Spanish history, which can be found in the Castaic Wilderness. Also to be found in the area is the historic pathway of the famous Butterfield stagecoach as it passed through the Castaic Wilderness and San Francisco Canyon, carrying mail and passengers from St. Louis to San Francisco. We are hoping that the dam site would include a visitor center and museum and a memorial wall with the names of all the victims. The many who perished in the St. Francis Dam disaster deserve to be remembered in this fashion.
H.R. 3153 was introduced to the House of Representatives last month and should be heading to the House Committee on Natural Resources next. Christy O'Donnell has become the new face for Dying with Dignity. She sat down with KHTS and talked about how she is the lead plaintiff in a suit that was recently dismissed and what her plans are next.
As far as the lawsuit, we have not given up on that. The lower court, the Superior Court in San Diego, essentially said, look, as a lower court, it's not for me to make that type of decision. We expect the judgment to be out this week. We will be filing an appeal to that judgment. We're reaching out to some constitutional law experts who will be speaking out on this issue. But that will continue whether I'm here or not, because the lawsuit has two other plaintiffs. You mentioned one, Elizabeth Wallner, and the lawsuit also has an extremely brave, another female warrior, who is a hospice doctor in San Diego. And for a medical professional with this particularly controversial issue to speak out, that's bravery.
For more information about the option of medical aid in dying, you can visit compassionandchoices.org. Assemblyman Scott Wilk and his representatives helped people reclaim their lost money at the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber Latino Business Alliance networking breakfast Tuesday morning. About 30 people gathered at Margarita's Mexican restaurant and learned that just by typing in your name on the Unclaimed Property State of California website, you can claim your cash. Many people don't know that money from banks and insurance companies are sent to the state and held there. Usually the money is held due to people moving and not forwarding their addresses. To find out more about how to reclaim money, you can contact Assemblyman Wilk's office at ad38.asmrc.org. Albert Einstein Academy students have been busy this summer. The school is giving back to Santa Clarita veterans and help the children by delivering backpacks for back to school. AEA students helped pass out back-to-school suggested supply lists to shoppers at Walmart on July 25th, and by the end of the day, collected hundreds of pounds of supplies, toys, and food items for Help the Children, Christmas in July school supply, and toy drive. As a result of the drive, 62 backpacks were also donated from multiple families and companies around Santa Clarita. Now turning to weather. Highs were in the mid-90s on Tuesday. The rest of the week is going to stay warm with highs in the 90s until Friday, when we get high temperatures in the 80s. Overnight lows will stay in the upper 50s and low 60s. That's all for your SCV NewsBreak. For more local news, you can log on to hometownstation.com or scvnews.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Jessica Boyer.